That's the goal. We have to open this window and we have to add all these elements. We're not to follow exactly this, but I will open this detail to understand what we are doing. And then probably we will simplify things and we will make other things a little more complicated than that. But the basic idea is that we have an opening and we have to insert a triple glazed window in this opening. And this is our Revit file. So we have all the loose ends here, the stats, the boards, the cellulose, everything's there. Okay. So we're going to have fun today, and we're going to use an option that I don't think we have used before, in this class at least. We are going to model all these as a component model in place. We will select the category Windows, and we're going to use, if you go to component model in place, we have Windows, okay? And we're going to use this sweep. Okay, so what does the sweep do? Those. I wanted to see this color. Okay, sweep. Yeah, I wanted to see the video because this is what the sweep does. Okay, so we have to create a shape, we have a path, and we have to build, or we have to move or extrude that shape along the path. We can use extrude when we have a line, but when we have something that it's not a line and we want it to do a weird path, then we have to use the sweep thing. So we're going to use this many times. So at the end of today, I think you will internalize this option of sweep. We have used the extrusion a lot. There are cool options here, but now we're going to use sweep. Swept blend, it's the same, but with two different shapes. So this is even more complicated because we have a path, two shapes that are different, and then we create that solid element. Okay, but the sweep, it's something easier because we have a shape and that shape goes along a path that it's not a line. So we're going to use this sweep option. So first we need a path, and the path is going to be always the window opening. So the first thing we have to do is to create the path, and we're going to do that with an architectural model line, and we will have this model line as a path, then we will do it. How can we do this? Let me see if that works. Okay, it doesn't. So we have to do this through one of the elevations. It can be let me see. I think it's the west elevation. Okay, yeah, it's the west elevation. And we created here these different, or these reference planes. Okay, so we remember that last time we created these reference planes. So I want to create the path. We are here, ABC. I don't remember the grids that I created. So we are going to open the window here. So we are in grid number 1. Okay, so I'm on west elevation. I'm going to create a model line, but the plane has to be grid number 1. Okay, and now I'm going to create a rectangle following these reference planes here and there. And if everything goes well, it will be, yeah, you see that I have a green line here. This is grid line number 1. Okay, and I created here this green line. This is the reference, okay? So I'm good because basically I want to work in this frame, in this opening. So I have created this path, and whatever I do, I'm going to use sweep, and I'm going to select always the same path, and the path is going to be this green line that it's at grid number 1, because my window is here. I don't know, maybe you have used different grids or you have different names, but the idea is that this grid line is the one that goes through the window. Okay, so I'm working on this wall, and this wall with the window is on grid 1. What's the size of this frame? Well, it has to be this opening. And remember that I did this before on the west elevation. I created these reference planes just to have this rectangle, because that's the shape of the window that I created. And then I created the voids, and I split the elements using these reference planes. Okay, and remember that we have this green line here around the window. If we look at the top of the window, we will have the green line here too. Okay, so now I think the best way is to work with a section. Okay, so let's create a section. We have this section here. So I'm going to move this section because I want to see the window. Okay, so if I create a section here, I click, and we see the opening. Do we see the opening? Yep. Okay, so yes, this is the opening. I think if I use the shaded, well, we see that these are the elements, okay, that we have. Yes, so we have this line, and this is what happens in real life. So when we split, when we cut things, the world is not perfect. So that's another function of this green element that I have here, is to absorb all the imperfections that we have. Okay, so this starts here, this ends here. So I don't mind, but I need something to make a reliable, flat surface, because when I'm cutting different elements, there might be gaps between different elements. So that's one of the options. Okay, so let's work with this. This is the reference plane, the top, the bottom, and the green line. You see that it's here. That's the frame that I created. So I have to start the lower part of the window here on that reference plane. Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to use architecture, component, model in place, select windows. Okay, I'm going to select sweep, not extrusion. I have to select sweep. And the first thing I have to do is to pick the path. Okay, so let's pick the path here. And the path, and to pick the path, I have to go to the 3D view, and I have to select this line here. Okay, so this model line that I created, I pick this path, and you see that I have to start at this point. Okay, so that's very important. Now I have selected this path, and I have to start the sweep at this point. If I go to the section again, yes, so this is the point at which I have to start my path. So what I'm going to do now, I have to cover everything. I will include even the siding. Okay, so I'm going to take this rectangle, this green rectangle, from the siding up to the interior part of the wall. So we can just okay, so I pick the path, then you finish. And now we have to edit profile. So we have a path, and now we have to sketch the profile. So select edit profile, and we are going to draw a rectangle. Okay, so the rectangle, it starts here and ends there. And what's the thickness? Let's make it 1 inch. Okay, doesn't work. Something close to 1 inch, okay? Like this. So I have created this rectangle. With this rectangle, I absorb all these gaps, so all the imperfections that I have with this, because I want a perfect flat surface to create that. If you move to the 3D view, that's what we have done. Okay, so we have created this rectangle here. The base point is that one. And now, if everything goes well, I have to finish and finish, and you see what we have. Okay, so I have created this element, and now this element, now we don't have all the loose ends here. So I have just created this element, and well, you can tell me, oh, and what about the siding? Well, we can include the siding. In this case, I didn't. Well, doesn't matter, because finally we will have this flashing, and we will cover the siding, so that's good. Unfortunately, this is not correct, because I used the sweep, but I didn't make the most of the sweep. I can do the same with all the lines, so I can create another vertical thing, another horizontal thing at the top of the window, but using the sweep, I can make the most of it. So I'm going to undo. And I'm going to do it again. So this is just to show you how the sweep works. So now that are a little bit more familiar, we're going to do the same. So we have section and or the 3D view. So let's use the 3D view first. And we are going to go again, architecture, component, model in place, windows, sweep. And I'm going to pick path, but now I'm going to pick everything. So the first one has to be this one, okay? So now we have the same thing. We have this point. We have to start the shape at this point, but I can keep selecting the path, okay? So I'm selecting this vertical line. I'm going to select the line that we have at the top of the window, this one, and I want to close this line by selecting the line that we have here. Okay, so remember that I created a rectangle. So the path now, it's the whole rectangle. So if I create a sweep, now the sweep will go around the window. So when we are done selecting the path, and remember that it's the whole rectangle, the whole opening, I have to click finish. And now on section 2, I can edit profile, and now I can create this rectangle around 1 inch. Like this. And now if I click finish, finish, and finish, if I go to the 3D view, this is what I wanted. Okay, so you see that now I have a frame that covers the whole opening, not just the bottom part, but everything. Okay, so that's the sweep. Can I change the material of this sweep? Probably I can edit in place. I select this again, and here I have material. So in material, we can have the same wood that we selected for the, I know, the glue lamp. Okay, so now I have wood there. So I can change the material of the sweep as I change the material of any extrusion that I have done there. So I have to select this, edit the profile, select it again, and now the material is there.
What material is it?
any wood. Yeah, so whatever. Okay, so now you see on this, we are following that drawing. So we have that element here. In this detail, well, they probably because the thickness of this thermal insulation is too much, they have like 3 elements, and then they have a board here. Okay, so we have decided to have this element as a continuous element. Okay, the most important thing is that I have something reliable, and now I can start placing my window here because there are no loose ends now. So everything is connected, or everything is covered by this frame that I created there. So that's the main frame. And now we have to start building the window. And the procedure, it's going to be always the same. So we need to select component, model in place, window, select sweep. We have to select the same path because the path is always going to be the same. And then we're going to use section 2 to draw all the elements that we need. So let's start. So let's do this again. So architecture, component, model in place, window, sweep. And now the first thing we have to do is to pick the path. So pick path. And we don't see the, yeah, if we are in these realistic colors, it's better if we go to the wireframe or even the hidden line. Okay, with hidden line doesn't work. So we have to go to the wireframe, too complicated. But with the wireframe, we can see the green line here. Be careful because we have to pick this green line first. Okay, so we pick the green line. We have this starting point here, and then we have to keep picking the green line that we have here in this frame. Be careful because if there are 2 lines very close to each other, we have to pick the green. So the path has to be a closed loop. Okay, so if it's not a closed loop, well, it will work, but it won't do what we want it to do. Okay. So now on section 2, here, what's next? We don't have to start at this point. We can start anywhere, and then it will follow the path. So where is the frame? The frame is kind of in the middle of this. Okay, so this is the fixed part of the window frame. And okay, you see this white thing? We're going to model this rectangle. Okay, so we're going to model this element. So we go to the Revit file, and I'm going to click finish because I selected the path, and I'm going to edit profile, and I'm going to draw a rectangle. I can start here, and this can be a rectangle like this. If I want to be accurate, I can change the dimensions. Okay, you see that this is 1 inch. 1 inch is enough. And then if I click here, this is 2 inches and 3/4 and 1/4. So let's make it 2 inches. Okay. So that's the profile that I want. So I have the path, I have the sketch. So I click finish twice, and there you go. I have a frame around this. I finish. Okay. What is this material? Well, it doesn't matter because it's this white thing. It's not even declared, but we need something there. Why is that? Told you this is complicated. So we're going to do this. This can be made of wood. Here we have the green element. Okay, so we're going to create this. It can be made of wood. It's going to be hidden, and then the shape of this frame will be something like that. Okay, so this is nailed here, and this is like a reinforcement for all that stuff. And that works well because the flashing, I can make the most of this to create the flashing, but that will come later. Okay, so I have created now this red thing. So this is the first green rectangle that I created. This is the second rectangle that I have created now. And in this drawing is this white stuff that we have there. Okay, the important thing is that we have the first frame. Okay, then we have this element, and on this element, this is fixed to the first frame. And now I'm going to fix or to nail the fixed part of the window to that element that it's the red rectangle that I draw there. Okay, and how can we do it? Again, with architecture, component, model in place, window, sweep. I have to pick the path, and to pick the path, I have to go to the wireframe. And now it's very important that this is the first part of the path that we select, this horizontal line. We select this one. The second is that one. The third is this green line that we have here. And last but not least, we have this green line there. Any questions? No, no questions. Okay, first, the path. Now, section 2, I have to draw the that frame. So I'm going to simplify this. So I have to click OK. I have to edit profile. I have to, but now a rectangle is not enough. I need to draw lines. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line here and here. I'm going to leave a gap here, don't mind. Then there, then here. I'm not paying a lot of attention to the dimensions, but the most important thing is that you understand the wait, sorry. This, then here, and then we can go this way and that way. Okay, so dimensions are not relevant now, and I'm not doing all the complicated shape that a real window has, but this is what I need. Okay, so I need this slope here. That's the that's outdoors. So if the water comes here, it goes down. And then I need this because I need to place the rubber here. And then the other part of the rubber will be there, okay? But that's the fixed part of the window. So now I click finish and finish. And if I go to the 3D view, yep, I have this, okay? Now it's worth changing the material here because this is, so the rectangle that we did before, it's hidden. We're not going to see that, but this is the window itself. So we're going to see this. So I'm going to edit in place, select that, change the material, and change another wood. We have cherry, door panel, blue lamp, oak, sash. Usually sash is softwood lumber. Okay, let's see. It's gonna be horrible as all the textures that we have in Revit. but well, I think it's wood. Okay, so we can then we can look for a different texture, but now it's yeah, so that works so far. It's sash. Sash is it's something that it's made of wood and usually it's for windows. Okay. Yep.
I can't find it. I made it, but
And the same architecture, component, model in place, windows, sweep, pick path. So if we want to pick the path, we need to use the wireframe. And now it's important that the first path that we pick is the horizontal line. Again, we have this. Then the second, the third is the green line here. And the fourth is the green line there. So we have the path, and now we go to the section. And now we have to draw that part of the frame, okay? So we can finish, edit profile, and we can start drawing. I told you that we need a gap, okay? So I'm going to place this here, like a few, yeah, so that's the frame that we created before. So I'm going to start there. And then I'm going to, I need another gap here. Okay. And I need this cavity to hold the glass. 1 inch and a quarter. Let's make it 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And now I go up. And then I have to do, okay, so I'm going to do something a little more complicated because I want to cover this part of the window. Like this. Okay, so I have created a slightly more complicated window because getting rid of water is important. So what I did, instead of doing this with a different material, I extended this like that. Okay, so all the water that we have here, it goes out. Yes, some water can enter, but then we will find this ceiling, but at least this ceiling is not exposed. So I created a shape like this. Okay. Just to protect this part of the fixed frame. Okay, so that's the kind of the shape that I have there. And now I click finish and finish. And if we don't finish yet, I can change the material here. And I don't mind, you can use sash, you can use any kind of wood, okay? I'm using this sash, but you can use the softwood or whatever. And now I change the material, I finish, I go to the 3D view, and if I go to the realistic, yeah, I have the frame there. Okay, so I'm building the window with all the components. So on section 2, this is the fixed frame. This is the movable frame. So now we need to model the glass. So for the glass, okay, so let's go step by step. And now we have this, the first, the green one, the red one. Now we have the fixed part of the window, the movable part of the window. So now we're going to model these two rubber bands to seal this around the window. Okay, so remember that we had a gap here, and we have another gap there. So we are going to place like a rectangle, and that will be the rubber that seal the window. And surprise, we're going to use architecture, component, model in place, windows, sweep. we have to we have to move to a 3D view, go to the wireframe, we have to pick the path. And we have to first pick this green line, second, third, and fourth. Okay, so now we have the frame, finish, go to the section 2. And now we just need 2 rectangles. I have to edit profile. And I'm going to create a rectangle here, connecting the fixed and the movable part. And now, can I copy? I don't know if we can do this. I'm going to copy this rectangle here. But it has to be slightly smaller. Okay. So can I sweep this shape made of 2 closed loops? I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah, apparently I can. Okay, perfect. And what material is this? This is not wood. This is rubber. We can use the EPDM membrane or the neo. Nope, we don't have. Do we have rubber? Well, it has to be something waterproof. Usually it's a black rubber around the windows, so we can use this. It's not exactly the EPDM, but well, it's something dark gray or almost black. So if we do that and we go to the 3D view and we look at the realistic colors, well, we don't, yeah, actually you see that this is the band that I have created to seal all this. Okay, so it's something dark gray that we don't see because, yeah, it's hidden, okay, but it's there. Okay, so where are we? First, we did the green one, then the red rectangle, then the fixed part, then the movable part, and then we have the sealant here. So now we have to work with the glass. Well, I told you that we need another rubber band there. And that's good because we can actually edit the sweep. Okay, so it's something that we can always edit. So we created this element. Okay. If we, I think if we apply the realistic colors here, yeah, you see the black stuff here. Okay, that's the, yeah, now here we can tell where the wood is and what this elastic element. But I'm going to use the hidden line because I want to edit this profile. So I can always edit this. So if there is something with the same material, because we need to put the glass, and the glass has to be resting on something that is elastic, because otherwise it will break. So I can edit in place. I can select this again. I can edit sweep. And by editing sweep, what can I do? If I select this, I can edit the profile. And I can create another rectangle here. Okay, so it's something very thin. But it's something elastic so that the glass is resting on something that it's elastic. It's not something hard because it can break the glass. So I do this, I click it again, and I don't have to do anything else. I don't even have to change the material. You see that now I have a black element here. Okay, so I have placed something elastic around the frame so that when I'm placing the glass and I hit some of the, if it's a wooden frame, usually glass doesn't break when we hit the wooden, but if we're working with aluminum, it's very easy that we're placing the glass on an aluminum frame and and when the glass is slightly broken, you have to replace that piece and it's very expensive. So that's why people are very careful, and we have this elastic element so that we don't break the glass. Okay, so we have something elastic around the frame, and now we can place the glass. I'm going to use For the glass itself, I have three panes, one, two, three. Well, we can use sweep, but we don't need the whole frame. Okay, I'm going to use sweep, but a different way. So let's go to the wireframe, architecture, component, model in place, window, sweep, pick path, and I'm going to pick only this line, okay? I'm going to pick this line, and I'm going to section 2. And why I'm picking only this line? Because I am working with the glass. So I'm going to click OK, edit profile. I'm going to work with a rectangle. So the rectangle, I'm going to start here. So I need a gap between the frame and the glass. And I'm going to go all the way up. So what's the thickness of a glass pane? Well, it can be, 1/8 of an inch, something thin, something like this, okay? And now I'm going to copy all this shape, all this rectangle 3 times. I have to copy this here, like in the middle, and I have to copy this here, and I always need a gap between the glass and the frame. Okay, so I have created these 3 rectangles, so those are the 3 glass panes, the triple glazing, and they are in this cavity, but there is always a gap between the glass and the frame itself. Okay, so it's not just filling these cavities, so we always need a gap between the glass and the frame. So we click OK again. And before finishing material, I can select glass. Okay, I do have glass here. Okay, finish the model. And now on the 3D view, realistic, I have a glass transparent there. Okay, we can keep going. What would be next? We have 3 things of glass, but now we have the spacer and so if we zoom in again. Component, model in place, window, sweep. Okay, we have to pick path. So we are going to pick the same path again, but now the whole frame. Okay, so the second line, the third, and the fourth green line. And now we go to section 2, and those are the glass panes. So first we need the spacer. I'm going to draw something like this. Okay, so the spacer, it's something like that. And if we want to make it symmetrical, I'm going to use mirror here. And chamfer this. And now the same thing here. Copy. Oh my God. I don't have the same distance between this. Okay, so that's the shape of the spacer, kind of. I will explain, well, I'm not going to explain why it has this shape but well, that's the shape of the spacer. So we finish twice. And what's the material of this? Well, that's a good question. If we have usually it's made of aluminum. But nowadays, if they want to, they are improving a lot of things in glazing. So they have made this of a thermal insulating material, something that it's kind of a plastic. Let's use aluminum because it's very, but probably it's not the best option using aluminum for this. Okay, anyway. 90% of the spacers are made of aluminum. So now again, we go to the realistic colors and we have this aluminum. Okay, it looks like a real. Okay, so we have the rubber, we have the glass is transparent, and here we have the aluminum. Okay, good. And well, I told you that there is a gap between the glass and the frame itself. And this gap is filled with another sealant material because the glass has to be floating, okay? So it can't touch anything that it's too hard. So it has to be floating on something that it's soft or elastic. So I'm going to select this again. I'm going to edit the sweep. And then if I edit this, I edit the profile. So what I'm going to do is to change this. Okay, so I'm going to add, or I'm going to go up. So it's not just a rectangle. So I want to create like a U shape, holding the glass in this gap and also in this gap here. Lines cannot intersect each other. What the hell? Oh. Now I think it works. And if I edit the sweep, okay, you don't notice the difference, but now the glass is not touching the frame at all. So it's just, yeah, so we don't notice the difference, but if we look at the section, we will notice, okay, not in the 3D view. And finally, well, I'm not going to do it, but you should do it. You have to fill these two, these gaps between creating that shape, the green one. So you can do it on your own. I'm not going to do it, but you should go to sweep again. And in this section, yeah, we have to fill, that's the spacer. So you have to fill this with a material that will be that EPDM or silicone. The silicone is something black or dark gray. So you can use the same material that we have used for that one, for the sealant here, okay? But what I want to do is to get rid of the water. Okay, so I think we have done a good job here with this shape, okay? This is the rubber. So if we look at the realistic color, okay, so we can tell that we have this rubber here, so the water will not come this way. Well, water will come this way, and because water is the enemy, and it will end up here. So that's why in these kind of profiles with triple glazing, we have all these shapes. Okay, so the shape that we created, it's something very basic, but it's not like that. We have all these shapes, and the goal of this shape is to get rid of water. Okay, so in the event that we can get some water here, we have to get rid. But we are not going to do that. But we understand that, yeah, a frame is not just a rectangle. We have all these weird Yes, cavities so that we can get rid of water. But at least we have to protect. Okay, so you see that we have this flashing element, and this flashing element goes from this gap that we have between this rectangle and that rectangle. So we need a flashing like that. And we need this only in the seal, in the window seal. We don't need it around the window because the most, yeah, so this is exposed to the water. Okay, so that part, yeah, we need a waterproof protection there at the top of the window, but the most exposed part is this one. So, and this has to be aluminum, it cannot be wood, okay? It has to be something that it's waterproof. So would you see that we start here between the gap between the red rectangle and the window frame, and we have to do something like that. Okay, so let's do it. So it's gonna be here. So that's the red. I didn't assign any material here because we're not going to see this. There's a gap between the window frame and that material here. So on this gap, we will do something like that, and we will get rid of the water, and we will cover the siding. Okay, so remember that the first rectangle that we did doesn't cover the siding. We will do it with same thing here. Okay, so we will cover the siding with this element. So let's do it. 3D view, architecture, component, model in place, window, sweep. I want to use sweep, but again, pick path, wireframe. I'm going to pick only this line, okay, because it doesn't go around the window. It's only, it affects only that window sill, okay, the bottom part of the window. So I'm done with picking the path. Now I have to go to the section 2, and now I'm going to use the hidden line. Yeah, I need to do something that it's here, and then with a light slope, it goes all the way out. Okay, so edit profile, line. So I'm going to start here, and then try to create a slope and try to go beyond the siding. Like this. But we need to close. Oh, by the way, I think this is going to be like this. We have to close this, so I'm going to create an offset. The offset is something very thin, 1/8. See if it works. It's too much. 1/16 of an inch. Yeah, I think that works fine. So 1/16, like this, and like this. And now I have to close and trim. This is good. This is good. So now I have to close this shape. Okay, so it has to be a closed loop. And if I do this, finish. What's the material? This has to be aluminum. And there you go. Okay, so you see that now we are protecting the siding, and well, we are getting there. So now once we have all these elements, there will be another guy with another big tank of silicone sealing everything around the window. Okay, so every single gap has to be sealed with this silicone.
What's that?
This is aluminum. Okay, so now that's the horizontal section of the window. This is the yeah, so this is a floor plan view. It's not a section like this one. Okay, so we are done with all that stuff. But now we have to protect the gap between the siding and the board that we have there. Okay, so you see that in this, but it doesn't affect the bottom part of the window. So we have something that starts here and goes all the way, but it's not there. So we can use a sweep, but now we have to change the path. Okay, so this is what we have. It goes from the window itself out and okay. I think what I can do is to extend this element just a little longer, and then we will cover the siding. Okay, let's do let's do wireframe, architecture, component, model in place, window. Okay, sweep. And I'm going to pick the path, but the first line, it's not the bottom line. I'm going to pick this line at the top. Make sure that you select the green line, this one. Okay, so now I'm going to start drawing there, and I want to extend this here and both out of the green line here. Okay, so I don't have the whole frame. I don't need this line at the bottom of the window. Okay, so I'm done picking the path. I am going to open the section number 2, and now I have to draw at this place. So basically, what I have to do is to continue this element here because I want to close the gap between the siding and this. Okay, so I'm going to edit the profile, and I'm going to open a rectangle. Yeah, so I want to go beyond the siding this way. Okay, just like this. And then I click OK. This material, it has to be the same material that I used for that. I think I used the sash. It can be timber, wood frame, or whatever, something made of wood. And now I finish. I go to the 3D view. I go to the realistic colors. Yeah, so now you see that I have fixed that gap between the siding and the okay. So I have something that it's protecting, so I don't have this gap anymore. So I have this and then the siding there.